What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to this week's Anfield Agenda Premier League predictions. Now, eagle-eyed viewers or FPL players amongst you will know that the games midweek count in last week's FPL scores, but me being the idiot that I am, try to just run my week Monday to Sunday. So we're going to go through the games Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as the ones at the weekend, starting off with Manchester City's game against Aston Villa and finishing up with the Reds game against Spurs, which of course could see Liverpool crown Premier League champions for the second time, unless, of course, Arsenal lose to Palace midweek and will be crowned champions then. Personally, I want to do it at Anfield, so I would rather be on Sunday, but let me know your thoughts. Right, we've a load to get through, my friends, so I'm not going to hang around. I'm going to jump straight into the first game, which is, again, a battle for Champions League football next season. Manchester City right now have a big advantage over Villa in that regard, but a victory for Unai Emery's men at the Etihad, well, that will turn things around very much so. Both these clubs are being FA Cup action at the weekend. So for me, this is a very difficult game to figure out. Logically, you would think Manchester City home win, at least in recent history, but Unai Emery's side have been playing some really, really good football. Absolutely put Newcastle to the sword as well, and Newcastle who were in very good form. So this is what I've gone for in the end, in what was one of the more difficult games to predict. I have gone for a sitting on the fence 2-2. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about that one. Those Champions League places are really heating up. You've got Manchester City, you've got Aston Villa, you've got Nottingham Forest, Chelsea. Who's going to get them in the end? Two teams will be happy, two will be disappointed. But on this one, I feel happy with my 2-2 prediction. Next up, Arsenal against Crystal Palace. And as I mentioned, if Arsenal lose this game, Liverpool win the Premier League on Wednesday night. The Liverpool players, I believe, according to Paul Joyce of the Times, are getting together to watch it just in case. But honestly, I want Liverpool to do it on Sunday. That being said, Arsenal were very impressive against Ipswich Town, and I don't expect them to slip up at home. So I'm going for a 3-0 comprehensive victory for Arsenal over Crystal Palace, who, well, their players have looked like they've been on the beach in recent weeks. Next game up is Chelsea against Everton, which is a massive game for Maresca and his Chelsea team. They pulled it out of the hat last minute in their most recent game, winning very late with a Pedro Neto goal to keep those Champions League hopes alive. Everton under David Moyes have been much more difficult to beat. This one, do you know what? Again, I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. My head says Chelsea should be too good, but something about Everton under Moyes is making them difficult to beat, and Chelsea look a bit jittery to me, so I'm going to go 1-1. And for full disclosure, I'd rather Chelsea didn't make the Champions League next season. Just saying. Next up, Brighton and Hove Albion against West Ham United. Again, two very weird seasons. West Ham looked a little bit better since Graham Potter's come in. You see Nicholas Fulkrug really unhappy with the late equaliser they conceded and the work rate and effort of some of his teammates. Brighton, on the other hand, have had some crazy results recently. João Pedro sent off in their last game as well. So taking that into account, I've gone for a narrow home win in this one. 2-1 to Brighton is what I'm saying. But of course, I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments whether you agree or disagree with that one. Newcastle against Ipswich. So look, Eddie Howe, again, we wish him a speedy recovery and hope he's back with his team as soon as possible. Jason Tindall had been doing a fine job up until, well, that whooping from Aston Villa. I think they bounce back here, and Ipswich, obviously fresh from their own whooping against Arsenal 4-0. I think this is going to be a fairly handy affair for Newcastle at home as well. So I am predicting a 2-0 victory for Newcastle in this one. I'm going to make a show for another Harvey Barnes goal as well. Maybe one from Isak. But let me know what you guys think. Feel comfortable in that 2-0 prediction, or do you think there may be a surprise on the cards? Southampton against Fulham in a game that should see Marco Silva's side win it. We've seen Southampton play with a bit more freedom since the relegation's been confirmed. Again, my brain says comfortable away victory. I'm struggling to come up with any argument to even get a point out of this for Southampton. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Fulham in this one. But do let me know what you think. And I've got to say, look, I've been very impressed by Fulham when they've played us this season. Obviously, they beat us in the last game. They're just a difficult team to beat. Next up, Wolves, fresh from their victory at Old Trafford, I believe their first ever, if I'm not wrong, or in a very long time, double over Manchester United against Leicester City, who were confirmed as relegated after their loss to Liverpool 1-0. So in this one, I got to side with the home side. I think Wolves in good form. So we're going to go for a narrow 1-0 victory. And I'll go a little bit further. I'm going to say that Matheus Cunha scores this one. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going 1-0 to Wolves. Do you think maybe the Foxes will play with a bit more freedom after that relegation is confirmed, or do you think Wolves' revolution, and it has been under the new coach, continues? Bournemouth against Manchester United in a game that, let's be honest, United don't really have much need to go strong in this one. Their focus, much like Spurs, should be on the Europa League semi-finals, the best pathway, in fact, the only pathway for both of those clubs into the Champions League. Bournemouth, on the other hand, well, they've been dropping some silly points recently. They're going to want to try and keep pushing on towards a place in Europe for Andoni Iraola next season. With this one, I'm going to go for a 3-1 home victory. I just think Ruben Amorim's going to put the kids out again, and I think they'll be beaten. And I think Manchester United's season, in the Premier League at least, is going to just keep going down and down and down as they focus, and understandably, on the Europa League semi-finals. They've got Athletic Club Bilbao, where the final is on as well, by the way, so that one's going to be difficult enough. But I feel very confident in my 3-1 prediction here for Bournemouth. The biggest game of the weekend for me is the one at Anfield. It is Liverpool against Spurs. It is the last game of the weekend as well. 4:30 kickoff. This, I hope, is the game that sees Liverpool clinch the Premier League crown. You're not going to be surprised at my score prediction in this one or my result prediction. But I do want to just speak for one moment about all of these comments to suggest how weak the Premier League has been this year. I don't remember it happening when City won it by 19 points previously, and even the year we won it, they tried to undermine that with the COVID talk, and we walked away with the league that year. It isn't Liverpool's problem if other teams underperform. Everybody plays the same teams twice over the course of a Premier League season, and Liverpool under Arne Slot have been, I think it's fair to say, the most consistent side, and that consistency has, or is going to, reward us with a Premier League title. Taking that into account, I don't know whether to expect a nervy Liverpool performance or a charismatic, swagger-filled Liverpool performance. I know I'd prefer the second one, but we have struggled to get going in recent weeks. I mean, the 1-0 victory over Leicester was nothing to write home about. So this one, I hope Ange Postecoglou doesn't go too strong. I hope that they look at it and think, well, if we do lose, it denies Arsenal the league, and, you know, that would help a little bit. Maybe that's wishful thinking on my behalf, but ultimately, I am going to go for a Liverpool victory by 2-0, a result, of course, that would see Liverpool crowned Premier League champions in front of their adoring fans at Anfield, and will make this Anfield Agenda host very happy indeed. So that is it for this round of Premier League predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to play along in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And again, my apologies to all the FPL players out there. I'm not very good at keeping up with the game week, so I just try to run my predictions from a Monday to Sunday, but I do appreciate your understanding. Until then, my friends, we will talk soon. Enjoy, have yourselves a great week, and let me know how wrong you think I am. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.